I'm not saying that a person is not identified by what they did. I covered that in that video. So what you're saying is not what I said.
Okay.
So I was very clear. So tell me what it is that you don't agree with specifically.
So obviously it wasn't very clear to me when I listened to it,
Okay.
because you were just stating just simply because we're human, we're all the same, and that and based upon our humanality, should we be judged? But again, yes, we all are human, but again, we all produce works.
I'm not contesting that. I don't think that I contested that or negated that in the video. I want to know, you said you didn't agree with it. I want to know what didn't you agree with, because what you just said, I covered in the video.
Well,
I,
I'm just saying. I mean, you said it was clear. I didn't clearly see it, so I guess I'd have to look and listen to it again.
so do me a favor. Your opinion in particular, and I'll explain to you why. I want you to listen to it again, because what you just said, it was as if you didn't listen to it, or maybe you didn't hear it, which is why I'm originally doing these types of videos. And that's another part of the story I'll explain to you. But if you have the time, if you have the time, and will do that for me, I'd appreciate it, because what you're defending, I'm not contesting at all. I didn't say we're not judged by the fruit we bear. We're not identified by the fruit we bear. I'm not talking about that. And of course, we're not a tree. And you can't compare a human being to a tree. You can in some aspects, but I'm talking about human life. Supposedly, human life is just below what we were created in the image of. We were not created in the image of a tree, and a tree is not created in the image of our Creator, according to what we're taught by what is known by most as, you know, what is considered the Word of God. We're created in the image of the Creator. So,
Uh-huh.
if you're going to judge it, if you're going to compare us to a tree, we may need to have another conversation. So,
I'll listen to it again.
do me a favor, listen to it again,
Uh-huh.
and call me back in
I'll
15
call you
minutes.
back.
Please. Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you back.
Yes, sir. I watched it 2 times.
Why did you need to watch it two times? What did you miss the first time? Did you miss anything?
Just in case I missed something again.
I know, but did you
I
miss?
watched it
Did
twice.
you did you miss something the first time?
So that's a total of 3 times I watched it. And
Hold on, before you
it's the
respond.
same conclusion.
So you didn't miss anything the first time.
No, I didn't.
So let's break it down one thing at a time, because I know you can be long, and I'm even longer winded than you. So you definitely didn't miss anything the first time. I think you did. But if you didn't, then okay, that's why we're going to discuss it. So if let's just do one small thing at a time. I'd like to know what you don't agree with first, and then give me the opportunity to more respond, because what you don't agree with, you don't necessarily have to explain. I have to respond to it though. So let's
So
break it down.
now the purpose of doing that video was for what was the purpose of doing that video?
That video is just what it says. It's a trailer for a whole nother interview that I had done with someone else. That video just was something that was birthed out of a whole different conversation altogether. That video had nothing to do with what I made it into after I started, putting it together. That video is just an excerpt from another event that I was a part of.
Okay. Well, you know what I tell you this. One thing you may want to do is get another person. I'm sure you will get another person's perspective on it.
Well, I am getting many perspectives, but yours in particular is what I'm asking for now. So I really want your opinion of it, uh, and that's why we're talking. And I appreciate you for sharing with me. Your opinion in this particular case is very important to me. Not that it's going to change anything, or maybe it may or may not make a difference, but especially if you say you disagree with something. I just want to know
Right.
from your perspective what you disagree with.
Well, let me just surmise what I saw on the video itself. You were saying, okay, I'm human,
Hold on.
just like everybody else. I was created.
I might need to break it down because if you address something, I want to respond to what you address. So if you make a point
Okay.
and I get it, I might need to stop you just so that I can respond to exactly what you're saying. So I'm sorry, I won't interrupt you until I'm ready to respond.
Okay. So again, I listened and I saw the area where you said, okay, I'm human, just like everybody else. I was born. I'm come from a sperm and my mom's egg, and I came up to be when I was in my conception. I'm a human. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm not, any of these labels that society places upon people. But I'm just simply human. So you say I grew up ascertaining these titles as I travel throughout my life and go through these different stages in my life, and I ascertain these different titles. But I'm still, nonetheless, by definition, I'm human. And you made a statement that if I hung out with a crowd, that's what I did, not who I am. And if I'm influenced to steal because of necessity, that's something that I did at that particular time, but it, however, does not mean that that's who I am because I stole. However, if a person has and this is my opinion, if a person has a history of thievery, and not just simply because of necessity, then that's how a person gets labeled as being a thief. Well, not really labeled as being a thief. Even if they just caught one time, they're labeled as a thief. A thief is the person who steals. Bottom line to it. And we learn the actions of stealing. We learn to classify that as stealing based again upon society. What society has taught us that stealing is. And we look at the action, and from the action, we weigh it out with the definition, and we see the association, and that's how we say in society, okay, that person obviously is a thief, because that person is stealing. Whether it be of necessity, whether it be just simply, I'm doing it for the fun of it, it still nonetheless is labeled as thievery. And then you said what you do is not who they are. What a person does is not who they are. People change. And I agree, people do change. And that's the beautiful part of life. Life allows you with the ability to change. However, I differ in my belief because I think some people change for the good. Some people don't want to change because they don't see anything needing to be changed. They accept how they were taught, and that's it. And they remain until death. You said what a person not who they are. Well, again, like I say, I particularly think what a person does actually defines who and what they are. Though we are all with
I'm sorry.
a body,
I'm sorry.
we all with.
I'm sorry.
Hmm?
I'm sorry. I just need to ask you a question before you go on. No, I'm not interrupted you until I don't understand something you're saying. You just said it defines who they are. I'm not contesting. I haven't contested anything you said. I haven't disagreed with anything you said because you haven't said anything about what you disagree with yet. But you are about to, I think, and you said what a person does defines who they are. Okay, that's a word I haven't necessarily heard yet, but I'm not contesting that it doesn't define who they are. It's not who they are. What I'm actually saying is not what I shouldn't have interrupted you, but when you say it defines who they are, it defining what what a person does, is it still who they are because it defined what they did? It defines what it defines an action, stealing or anything that is against the universal principles of what we've set aside as points of reference. We've made it clear. The Ten Commandments, one of them says, "Thou shalt not steal." So we already know as a society that conflicts with what we, want in society as it relates to interacting with each other. So it defines what you did. But the question still is, it's not who you are. So I shouldn't have interrupted you, but I'll let you continue. I'm still trying to hear what you disagree with because I haven't heard what you disagree with.
Well, I just simply disagree with the idea of what you do is not who you are. It doesn't define who you are.
I didn't say
it doesn't. I particularly say it doesn't define who you are if that's really not who you are.
Well, let's define it. Hold on a second. You got to slow down. Slow down. You're saying two different things to me, or maybe I'm understanding two different things. So you've got to slow down with what you're saying. Let's start. Let's break it down. What are you disagreeing with? One sentence.
Okay, one sentence. What a person does is not who they are. Let's just deal with that one.
You disagree with that?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Okay, so then explain to me why a person is what they do.
Well, you have two things.
Oh, no, let me ask you a question right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done anything that could put you in jail, yes or no?
Oh, but of course, yes.
Okay, slow down, just a yes or no.
Yeah.
Did you not go to jail for it?
Right. Yes.
Had you been caught, would you have gone to jail?
Yes.
Okay. So some way, somehow, whatever you did and got away with it, you clearly didn't do it again, or you probably would end up in jail because it would be a matter of time if you practiced it. So what you did was part of who you are. It's not who you are because you did it and you didn't continue to do it. So if you is whatever this thing is or these things are that you did that you could have gone to jail, is that who you are? Yes or no? If let's just say you stole something, are you a thief or did you practice what a thief does? Let me just ask you this question. Let me just ask you a question. Are you a thief? Yes or no?
By definition, you have to understand what a thief is.
Ask you. I know what a thief is.
If you're going to go by definition of a thief being a person who engages in stealing or a person who engages in any event by which he takes something that doesn't belong to him, I would have been labeled as a thief.
Okay, we didn't ask you what you were labeled as, and you're telling me stuff that I'm not asking you, and we're probably getting into a crazy conversation, and that's okay because I still love you anyway. I'm just trying to get some understanding here on purpose. My question to you is, are you a thief? Yes or no?
Yes.
Really?
I would be.
How?
By definition, what is a thief?
I didn't ask you if you did what a thief does. I'm asking you.
That's how you identify
I didn't say it's not
by
how you
what you do.
identified. I didn't
Not
listen.
not.
Come on, man.
That's the only way you can
Stop for a
identify it
second.
as.
You're not answering my question. You're trying to tell me something. I'm asking you a specific and direct question. I don't need an explanation yet. I will stay on the phone. I've got until 3 o'clock today before I have to do anything other than walk my dog, and he's good until at least 11. So here's my question. Listen to what I'm asking you. You don't have to explain yourself because I've got a brain. So I'm asking you, let's just slow down. All right? I'm doing this for a reason. And listen, you have no idea. You in particular, I've been wanting to get you in this ring for a long time because I love you as a brother, and I know you have a different perspective on life, with your beliefs and everything than most people that I know. So I have nothing but love and respect for you. But we're talking about a conversation, and I'm trying to facilitate a conversation for a specific reason. And I couldn't wait till I got you again in this ring because this is one of those. I like investigating the mind, the brain, and I like breaking apart what people are feeling, saying, and thinking. And conversations like this can get heated. It doesn't mean anybody's disrespecting anybody, but I have a mission. I'm trying to go somewhere, and I'm trying to not only listen to you, but hear you, and not only hear you, but understand what you're saying and not necessarily what you're meaning. So there's a difference in what you're saying and what you're meaning. I'm asking you what you're saying pretty much, and you're trying to explain it to me at the time I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So that's what I'm trying to decipher right now, and it's why our wires are getting crossed. So I'm asking you specific and direct questions at specific and direct times so that I can understand what you're saying. Because sometimes what you're saying is not necessarily what you're meaning. And I think you're trying to explain what you're saying, but I'm not ready for the explanation. So, my question is, don't explain anything yet. And thank you for humbling yourself, because I don't mean to be disrespectful for you by over talking you, but I called you and asked your opinion, and I'm trying to get an understanding. So my question is, are you a thief? Yes or no?
All right. Now, by definition.
So you can't answer yes or no. I see you trying to explain. Don't explain it to me. Don't do that. I need you to cooperate with what I'm asking you. You can explain. Listen, I told you. Hold on, stop for a second. Hold on, bro. Hold on, stop, bro. I don't ask you what you would have to say. Slow down on your explanation, please. You're trying to explain. I don't want to know what you mean yet. I'm trying to hear what you're saying. Work with me. I'm the slow one here. I'm the one who's slow. I'm the one who has a comprehension problem. So I need you to be patient with me. You're a Harvard graduate and I'm a third grader. So don't slow down and paint this picture for me so that I can grow up and be as strong as you. So slow down with me. When I ask you a question, don't cloud it with your explanation because I don't want to know the meaning yet. I want to know where you stand first. So slow down and stop being so anxious to explain. I don't need a teacher right now. The teacher will show up when the student is ready. I'm ready. So I need to hear what you're saying before I try to understand what it means. I can form my own opinion of what it means after I hear clearly what you're saying. So about the fifth time, I'm going to ask you, your mother gave birth to you. I'm going to just ask you a yes or no question. I've got until 3 o'clock. You can explain all day. Just help me with this. Are you a thief? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you were filling out an application and someone wanted to know your character before they hired you for a very important job that you're more than qualified for, would you put down on that application that you are a thief? Yes or no? Yes or no? Listen to my question. Why can't you answer what I'm asking you? I'm trying to get an understanding, and
I'm answering you based upon what you're asking.
I know I'm asking you a yes or no.
If you listen to what you're asking.
You are trying to explain to me because you're trying to tell me something.
I'm trying to explain to you the
answer. I didn't ask you to explain yet. I didn't ask you to explain anything to me. I asked you a question. A yes or no question. And if you tell me anything other than yes or no, I'm a third grader now. You are confusing me. I don't need your explanation right now. I want to know where you stand on what you're saying, because what you mean is clearly something different. So please work with me. Please have patience with me. You've got until 3 o'clock today. It is 10:47. You don't have to be in a hurry to explain to me. So please stop telling me this stuff. I'm going to give you all the time you need to talk. You're not going to run out of time. And if we run out of time, we can talk later. You said you have nothing to do. We're all on lockdown. So please slow down. You don't have to defend anything. I'm not coming against you. Work with me, please. Sir. Senor.
Go ahead on.
Okay. When I ask you a yes or no question, please answer my yes or no question. So I'll start again, because this is critical and important to me, and I can't thank you enough. I'm going to send you $10 in Cash App today. I'm going to send you $10 because it's all I got. Not because I'm trying to pay you, but I appreciate it. So listen.
Oh, hey, we'll do this.
Listen to me.
Yeah. I'll play according to your rules.
Don't listen.
I'll do it according to your rules on this one.
Listen, let's just do it. I don't want to call it as rules. I'm just asking you to please just work with me on this. So please just hear me out. You said you disagreed with something. I can't understand what you disagree with until I understand what you disagree with. So you're trying to explain it to me. There's a difference in stating where you stand and explaining why you stand there. There's a difference in stating where you stand and explaining why you stand there. Stating where you stand and explaining why you stand there. So you're trying to explain it to me. There's a difference in stating where you stand and explaining why you stand there. I'm not asking you the whys yet, and that's what you're forcing on me when I ask you where you stand, because you're going to need to be able to respond to it, because you're mixing your emotions with what's actually going on. So let's just start over. Clean slate. We're rewinding, and now we're starting over. Are you a thief? Yes or no, sir?
By definition,
okay,
I have to say.
Okay, so listen, we're gonna have to stop talking. If you're gonna have to start explaining before you answer my question, we're wasting time. We're not gonna get anywhere. We're gonna have a long, drawn-out conversation. I do this all the time. This is a part of my creativity of what I'm doing in COVID. It's been a part of me as a child, and you are killing my vibe really bad by insisting on explaining. I don't want you to tell me by definition. We're both intelligent people. We can also look up the definition. You don't need to tell me by definition. I know what a thief means. I'm not asking you the definition of thief. So please stop doing that. Please. I'm begging you, bro. I'm trying to have a conversation with you so that I can get an understanding. But I can't let you force something on me, and that's not what I'm trying to do to you. I'm telling you in advance. If you want me to just stop talking and you just give me a bunch of explanations, so be it. But I have a dictionary already. I don't need an explanation. I'm trying to get to the bottom. You're the one who told me you disagreed with something that was said. I can't understand what you disagree with. So can you maintain a type of control inside your head as to where you can answer a question without giving an explanation for it? If you can't,
okay, I'm going to answer you without giving an explanation.
You're going to answer me.
Yes.
Okay, so just give me yes or no's, and I promise you, after I finish, you can do all the explaining you want. Okay? So this is like the 10th time now. I might be exaggerating a little bit. Are you a thief, yes or no?
No.
If you were filling out a high-profile job application and they ask you if you were a thief and you wanted this job, would you tell them that you are a thief, yes or no?
No.
Okay. You wouldn't tell them that you were a thief if you wanted to get a job?
No.
So why did you just say you're a thief, but you wouldn't be honest with them if you're trying to get a job? Why would you not be honest?
Then you asked me if I was a thief, and I said no.
I heard you, but I'm asking you now. This is a question. Now you can give me an explanation. Why would you not be honest? If you just told me that you were a thief, why would you not be honest and tell these people before you hired them that you are a thief?
You asked me was I a thief, and I said no.
I did, and then we're beyond that. So you don't have to tell me that again. My question now is, if these people ask you that, you told me you would tell them no. Why would you not be honest? If they wanted to know if you were a thief before they hired you, why would you tell them no when you just told me and you said you are a thief?
Well, because a thief is not. I'm a person. I'm a human.
My point
I'm not
exactly.
defined by what I do.
My point exactly. I said that in the video, but you disagreed with that. We're not talking. So now you're confirming what I said. You have not answered my question. My question is, if you told me you were a thief, and then my question is, if you were about to get a high-profile job, $250,000 a year before to after taxes, and they wanted to know if you were a thief or not, you just told me you would tell them no, you're not. But you just said that you are, and you're just telling me you're not. So then you're a liar too. Then why would you not tell them you are a thief when you just identified with me as saying you are a thief? They want to know if you are a thief. And you just said you are, but then you just told me you would tell them no. Why would you lie? And don't say because thieves lie. Stay focused. You just told me you were a thief. And I just asked you if you would tell the people.
I just told you I wasn't.
Okay. You weren't. Wait, you changed your mind now? Yes or no? 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 Have you changed your mind? Have you changed your mind? Have you changed your mind? Yes or no? Have you changed your mind? Yes or no? Have you changed your mind? Are you a thief or not?
We're talking current state.
No, are you changed your mind? I'm not hearing it. Listen, bro, listen, let's just stop talking unless you want to talk and I'll hear you out before we hang up. But I'm just, listen, you have you changed your mind? Yes or no?
Alright. We'll end this conversation.
Wow. Why, man? Why are you ending the conversation?
Why? Because you're not listening to me.
It's not that I'm not listening to.
Listen. Two people can communicate.
All right.
If I can't communicate with you, then there's no need to continue.
Stop. Okay, I'm gonna change gears then, because you are the one who said you disagreed. You are the one who, and I just explained to you that I'm the third grader here. You're the Harvard graduate. I ask you the question. I am trying to understand, and I can't understand, by you trying to force me to understand something. I need to soak it up based on what you say, not what you explain. You're giving me the example of what most people do. They say one thing and do another, or they say one thing and mean something else. You are saying something and you're trying to explain how you mean something else. Right now, I'm not focused on what you mean, and you're trying to force to me what you mean. I'm trying to understand what the heck you are saying, and you are getting frustrated with me as I am getting frustrated with the conversation, because you are trying to.
Exactly. I'm getting frustrated with the conversation.
Okay.
That's why I said what we'll do is just end it like
let's
that.
Don't do that, because then you get the cop out. Let's don't end the conversation. What I'll do then, if you insist on telling me all this stuff, I will do like you told me. I will do what you want me to do now. I will listen to all of your explanation, but I'm not asking you for the explanation yet. I'm trying to get an understanding of what you are saying, not what you're meaning. So now, with that being said, so we don't have to hang up, because this is important to me. So I'm trying to understand. Please, by all means, sir, say everything you need to say, but I'm going to come back to a specific and direct question. You're just going to give me your explanation in advance instead of later. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you do all the talking you need to talk. But when I ask you a question, you don't get to run behind an explanation. You either are a man or you're not. You're either a black man or you're not. You're either a musician or you're not. You don't get to tell me all this explanation. I'm trying to understand what you're saying before I understand what it means. There's a difference. So then I'm going to be quiet if you're not going to answer my specific and direct questions. And now you have the floor. And sorry I raised my voice, but it's no disrespect for you. I love you. You're my brother. I have nothing but respect for you. This is a conversation, and conversations kind of go like this. If you feel disrespected, please allow me to apologize because I love you and I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm on a mission, and the reason I'm doing this is because of a calling that's on my life that I just recently discovered. So all these conversations I'm having with people is for a reason. So I will stop, I will let you speak, and I won't interrupt you at all.
Well, I simply said what I had to say, Travis.
Well, you're not answering.
With regards to what that was my opinion is just simply what it is. It's my opinion. Someone else may hear it and they may hear something else different. I'm just telling you what my opinion was relative to what I saw.
But you said you disagree with what you saw.
Right. That's my opinion.
So is your so
It
you're
doesn't necessarily mean that my opinion is correct.
okay? Well, then that's what we're
That's
trying to
my
get to.
opinion.
That's what we're trying to get to. Okay, because what I think you're doing is responding based on your feelings. What I think you heard was you heard something solid and concrete, and you are allowing your feelings, your emotions, and even your opinion to interfere with raw, universal points of reference. Your emotions is is getting in, and you don't even realize it. And I can prove that it is. I'm proving it as we speak, and it's okay with me if you don't hear me out, but I have 100% proof that you heard something concrete and your emotions is what's causing you for us to not even get into to get through the conversation. And it's okay. It happens to 99% of the people that I interview. And it's okay. You're no different. So it's okay. If you, even at this point, if you just would rather hang up and run from the question or run from the truth, it happens all the time. I pointed out something there that can be viewed differently, but was very solid and concrete. And I know you heard it, but your emotions, again, is still conflicting with what's actually on the table. And you won't even go through the conversation with me for me to even point that out to you. I hear it. I get it already. I believe that I have a gift for what we're talking about, and until someone proves me wrong, you don't get to opinionate me wrong or inaccurate. So until I am proven inaccurate, then so be it. I haven't been proven inaccurate. You're just trying to insist on sharing your feelings, or as you just said, your opinion. You even said you may be wrong or you may be inaccurate. It may not be correct. We're not. Let's get rid of the maybe. I'm not trying to get your opinion as much as I am trying to make sure that you are agreeing or disagreeing with something concrete. So,
You want my answer?
I want you can respond if you want. I'm trying to get to the bottom of something that I'm having a difficult time doing. I'm not able to get to the bottom of where I'm trying to go because I don't feel like I'm getting the cooperation out of the conversation. Because I think your opinion and your feelings and your emotions is weighing more heavily on what's actually going on here. And that's a part of what I'm trying to point out is how our emotions and our feelings really create more issues in society because we can't look at something that is and be okay with it without either having an opinion based on our feelings, our beliefs, or our thoughts. Something either is or it's not. How we feel about it does not change what it is or what it's not.
Right.
And I
Exactly.
think you are trying to trying to explain as opposed to respond to what's actually going on. You're trying to insert your feelings there, your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs. And that's all nice and cool. And it's even cute. But it doesn't mean a hill of baked beans when we're trying to get to the bottom of a situation. And that's all I'm trying to do. I don't want to waste your time. I don't even want to keep you on the phone. As much as I respect your point of view, I got stuff to do. I've done let 2 calls go to voicemail already. But your opinion is important to me. And even making my point is even more important than that. So I hear what you're saying. But I haven't gotten to the bottom of my point because it seems like your powerful feelings is dominating raw universal principles. I stated some raw universal principles, and your feelings about it is what's conflicting. And I'm able to prove that if I can get you to be truthful about what you're saying, not what you're meaning. You're trying to give me your feelings, and I'm not trying to hear your feelings. I'm trying to hear your perspective of what you disagree with and why. Your feelings are way overpowering. And it's okay, brother. It's okay that you may not understand my point. But this is why we get to the bottom of things, because we endure through it. We were ready to hang up a few minutes ago, but then all we would do is have something to talk about. Well, this Negro this and that Negro that, or that said this and that. That's all we will have instead of an understanding. And the Bible says, in all you're getting get an understanding. And right now, I don't think we understand each other. And I'm going to go on record and say, I don't understand you. But I can't understand you until you satisfy my inquisitiveness. You can't force something on me. I have something that I don't understand, and I want to understand it the way I process it. And if you try to tell me something different, because you have a stance regardless. You have a belief regardless. Your belief may not conflict, may not line up with what we're talking about. But I'm just trying to make sure that I hear what you're actually saying, and I'm trying to remove my emotions from what you're saying. I know what you mean, but I'm not trying to get what you mean yet. I've explained that 49 times. So please, let's don't hang up. I will again give you the opportunity to speak, but you have got to go through the exercise with me. And I know it's hard to do. I know it's difficult. But we can't grow unless we have a little resistance. And that's all you're being met with this morning, a little resistance. You don't like how it feels and how it sounds, so you're trying to insist that you explain something to me. I don't need an explanation. I need an answer.
Wouldn't an answer and an explanation be the same?
They are definitely not the same. You want a dictionary, or what do you want to do? An answer and an explanation, and an explanation is an answer, but you can answer. You can respond to something. I can ask you what time is it, and you can say green fried tomatoes. That's your response, but you didn't answer my question. I'm not.
That's according to my understanding of time.
Say it again.
That would be according to my understanding of time.
Okay,
if you and I both have the same idea of time, then I would tell you my explanation of time based upon what I know of time.
We do have universal principles and points of reference is the only way we can even communicate in society. Certain things have to be established before we can even communicate. An orange has to be orange has to be an orange before we know that we can make orange juice. So you know what time is. And I know that you do. You don't have to come up with, say, according to my definition of time. If I ask you as it relates to an answer and an explanation, if I ask you what time it is and you say fried green tomatoes, that's not saying 12:30. Because I'm asking you what time it is. I'm not asking you what time that's not what I'm asking you. And a response is not necessarily an answer. It is a type of answer, but we're trying to be as common denominated as possible. We're trying to break this down to as simple and as raw as we can. So if I ask you a question and you give me an answer that's not related to the question, or you give me an answer that's somewhat near the question, you have responded, but you have not answered the specific and direct question. What time is it? Fried green tomatoes? I answered you. I told you what time was according to my your definition of time is not necessarily a universal principle or a point of reference.
It's not a universal definition of time.
You know that, and I know that. So let's not waste time on that. I'm trying to get back to the point that we both are getting away from, and that's, are you what you do? You are insisted that you are. I'm trying to understand why you disagree with the statements that were made in the video and audio that you heard and saw. And we were on the path, and for some strange reason, your emotions are getting the best of you. That's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, you can prove it by just responding to me according to how I'm asking you. You can't go
Well,
into
my
a
thing
court.
is would be, am I a musician?
We're getting off the subject now. Let's stay to what's
No,
on
no,
the
no.
table.
It's based upon the same principle.
Okay.
Because you have to ask yourself the question: am I a musician? Then you'd have to understand what a musician is. A musician.
Well, whether your understanding of a musician doesn't negate what a musician is, though. There's a definition that's already been established as to what a musician is. So if you tell me your understanding of a musician, we might need to have another conversation, because the definition of musician has already been established according to points of references and the society that we live in. And remember, we can't communicate unless we are on the same path. So
Right.
if you start,
Some may call it. Some may say I'm an artist.
well, we're not talking about what you are an addition to. That again, we're trying to stay on focus. You are you know, I get that. I'm not talking about what you could be or what you could be additionally. You either are a musician or you're not. And that was the question. Whether you're an artist is something you're factoring in. For what reason, I don't know. And I'm not talking about what some people.
I would simply say I am a person who specializes or plays music.
Okay, but that wasn't the question that I asked you. You can explain that if you choose, but you are not answering the question. Are you a musician, yes or no?
And I would say no.
My God.
However, you have to understand your definition of music in order for you to say
Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Conclusively, yes or no.
This is what I'm going to do. I may have reached a point that maybe we need to cool off and come back to this. Your opinion really mattered to me, and I guess I'm going to have to accept that I'm not going to get, what I was actually expecting, and that's my fault for even having an expectation. But with that being said, I really wish you would continue with the exercise with me, which you are clearly not willing to do. Why? I don't know. I'll just now have to make my own conclusion, is that you don't want to deal with what's in front of you, where you want to deal with your emotions. And that's why I'm doing these exercises. I'm having conversations with people, some recorded, some not, and I'm trying to bring awareness to how we process information, because people hear things and they understand something different. People say things and they even mean something different. I can say something and you can think I said something else. But these kinds of hard conversations is how we get to the bottom of why we are, so we don't have to fight. I believe misunderstanding is the biggest problem we have in society today. And it's a part of why people are out there rioting right now, is because we don't do what I'm trying to do right now. And that's have a conversation with you with reason. The Bible says, brother, let's reason together. And we don't have to like, something in order to understand it, or to be okay with it, or to go along with it. And the fact that we don't like it is why we throw such a hard fit. Universal principles and points of reference are all we have to go on. If something has been established as a norm for society. We have to give that some kind of credibility when we are hashing out issues. If the uh, Constitution says all men are created equal, then we don't have an argument as to why some people are treated differently. We just need to get to the bottom of why. And that conversation is hard to have. Just like this conversation, I'm trying to understand why you disagree with what you said you disagree with, but we can't have the conversation. And it happens. It happens all the time. I'm not surprised. I wish it wasn't the case, but I'm not surprised.
Well, you know what, Travis, you asked me to listen to the video. I listened to the video, and you asked me, what do you think about it? And I told you what I thought about it.
Well, in addition to telling me what you thought about it, you said if you had not said you disagreed with something, we wouldn't even have this conversation. If you had told me what you thought about it, then I wouldn't have been able to even have anything to say. You volunteered your opinion. You volunteered your perspective of it. Yeah, I asked you what you think about it, and your thought about it included a disagreement. And if you're going to disagree with something that I stand by, I need you to tell me more than how you feel. I want you to tell me how what you disagree is concretely, against what I'm saying or doing. And you haven't done that yet. Again, if you had just told me your thoughts without telling me whether you agree with it or not, what would I have to say? You volunteered that. And all I'm doing is calling you on what you volunteered out of your own mouth. And
most people that see it, if you tell them, see it, and then call me back, they're going to call you back and tell you their opinion.
I'm not going to call most people. I'm going to call people who have significant value to my overall point. And I had you in mind as I was putting this together. And I didn't know when I would be able to talk to you, but I'm glad I did. I didn't get what I expected. Again, that's my expectations. So I won't be calling most people, and I won't be on this subject long. There's a billion things that I'm going to do. I found a whole new calling, and it's not going to be easy. As a matter of fact, I've got to figure out how to get my mind back after these types of conversations, because they do they do get intense. I hope that when you hang up this phone, you still see me as whatever that wonderful, awesome, great, wonderful thing you saw me as before we picked up this phone. But we're at a place right now. We're at a standoff, and I want to clear the air. I don't want there to be discord between you and me. And there clearly is some, and it doesn't have to be. But it doesn't matter whether it has to be or not. People will go along with their feelings regardless of whether it matters or not.
Right. Well, anyway, man, let me start getting my thing together this morning. I've been on this phone quite some time with you.
Yeah, you have, and I appreciate it.
And but we will talk again. Okay. I like this dialogue.
Well, it's what I'm doing, and as I said, most of the conversations I record, I can't record them all because I don't have enough hard drive space for that. But your opinion in this particular subject is very important to me, so I hope you find the time, even after you think about it, to call back and allow me to make my overall point. I am, again, on a mission to bring awareness to how we process information in society, because as we are proving, we can hear something and feel a certain way about it. What we say is not always what we mean, and what we hear is not always what a person meant. And having these hard conversations, if we can remove our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, and our beliefs from raw, evidence and universal principles, we can really get along. It's just we don't know how to control our ego and our emotions, and that's why we have fights and fusses all the time, me included. So, yeah, I guess I don't have a choice but to leave it alone, and I'll let this conversation, instead of bringing awareness to it, I'll just let this be a communication tool, an educational tool. I won't use it as although it anyway. I'll let you go, man.
Oh, we won't put a period on it. We'll put a comma on it.
Okay, but if we put a comma on it, we're gonna definitely have to next time, because I need to be able to prove what you said and didn't say, because your feelings and emotions change, and we have to stand by what we say, not how we feel.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me an appointment now? Can you look in your book and call your secretary and see when she can put me on the schedule? Can you let me know when we can have this talk again? Because I'd like to document it and make sure that you are a part of the movement that I am trying to bring awareness to. So can you please
call me again tomorrow?
Tell me what time to call you tomorrow. I will be on your phone 2 minutes before that time.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning.
Yes, sir.
And we can document our conversation, and you'll be okay with helping me with where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, hopefully I can be.
Okay, and will you listen to the video one more time?
I surely will.
Okay, so I'll call you at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm having my secretary lock it in right now.
All right.
I love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
All right.
Take care.
10-4.
Travis.
What's up, man?
Everything's great, man. How you doing this morning?
I cannot complain.
Yes, sir.
How you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm just getting up.
Is this a bad time then to talk to you?
No, it's a good time.
Okay.
I'm just getting up.
Well, yesterday we were supposed to talk, man, and I'm going to take 100% responsibility for not calling you on time. But I had a tech guy here, and he didn't leave, and I just got totally distracted and he's coming back today, so he could come anytime. I told him to give me a heads up, and they said they would. So hopefully he'll give me a heads up, and I won't have to brush off. But anyway, I don't remember where we were.
Well, you asked of my opinion of the video.
Yes, but the main thing, we were at a dispute. I can't remember what it was, but I don't know. I'm just waking up myself, man. I called you the first thing. I ain't even went to yet. I'm trying to think what we were saying. What was the basis? What was that? Shoot. Come on, man. You have to remember.
I listened to the video, or I looked at the video, and there was something that I disagreed with.
Exactly. I remember now. So what was it that you disagreed with?
I gotta listen to it again, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I gotta listen to it again so I can tell you exactly what it was.
Okay, I think I remember though.
Okay.
The gist, I guess, of the video was: are you what you do? Are you what you say? Are you how people identify you? And I guess in some aspects we can be, but from the ground floor or from the makeup of, I just wanted to know your opinion. That's where we were. You were saying we are what we do.
Right. Or not necessarily we are what we do, but we're recognized by what we do.
Well, recognize and are not the same thing, and that's a big point. You just said we are what we do, but then you say we recognize what we do. Those are two different things.
Okay.
So are we what we do or are we not?
Hello? Or let's say we're recognized.
I don't contest that at all. I agree with you by we are recognized. I said that 1,000 times, even in the video, even in the full video. You got the trailer and the actual documentary goes in depth to talking about how we are identified by, what we do, or things we commit or things we say. You know, people they coin phrases. That woman who said, ain't nobody got time for that." You remember her, Sweet Brown?
Uh-huh.
That she was recognized by saying that, but that's not who she is.
Okay.
So you were saying that you disagree that we are who we are. We are what we do. And there's a difference between by being identified by what we do and what we do being who we are.
Right.
So are you
So
changing?
I'm of the opinion again that we'll recognize. I'm glad I chose that word.
Right, but that's not for. I'm not that word is not. I'm not contesting that we are recognized. You said we are what we do, and you were strong about it. You said you disagree with it. That was my statement. My statement was we are what we do, and that's what people call us. Like I said, if I stole something, you're gonna call me a thief. That's just what I did. It's not who I am, and I'm explaining it to you, and I want you to explain to me how we are. So I'm doing all the talking, and you're the one
Right.
supposed to be telling me how we are what we do, and I haven't heard that from you yet. And when you tell me, you say we're recognized, but I'm not contesting that we recognize it, because I clearly said that we are identified by it. Recognized and identified is pretty much, they're very similar. So you're repeating what I said, but then you're saying you disagree with me, but then you're not saying you're disagreeing with me exactly. You're just saying maybe you don't like what it sounded like. So again, I'm doing all the talking. I want you to right now just tell me how we are what we do without using the word we're recognized, because that's not what I'm contesting.
Okay. Well, in essence, what a man does. You want me to explain it to you now?
I'm waiting for you since 3 days ago.
Oh, okay. So what a man does, it doesn't define him.
Hey, can you turn
However,
your TV down a little bit, or is somebody else watching it?
yeah, I need to turn it down. I need to turn it off. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
you sound like you one of those old people who can't hear.
Uh,
Not that I'm knocking old people, but when we all get older, our hearing and hearing and all kind of things start to change a little bit. Oh God, that sounds so much better. Speaking of sound, now I can hear you and don't have to hear in the heat of the night in the background.
You suffer from old person syndrome, man.
And you can say that. I don't agree with that, but and I can prove it. So now, since you don't agree with who we are, now you prove that.
All right, so a man is a man. Again, by is demonstrated by what he does. The Bible said, "When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." So that means that he's recognized as a child. These are his stages of development, his stages of growth. But when he becomes a man in his thinking, he puts away childish things. He's recognized as a man by his actions. But he was a child in the beginning at birth, or recognized even as a child. He was understood as a child.
He spake as a child. I know the Bible verse. I get it. You keep using the word recognized. Recognized is
Well,
just.
I use recognized because again, that was a point of agreement.
Well, you're either agreeing that you are what you do or you're not. And you keep saying every time you explain it, you say you're recognized. I don't contest
Right.
that you're recognized by what you do. You either are what you do or you're not. And you're saying that you are, and you haven't proven it. When you throw in the word recognize, you change the whole structure of the statement. I agree with you that we are recognized by what we do. We're recognized by what we say. We're recognized by our actions. They are a part of who we are. But what we do is not who we are. And I keep driving that home, and you have not told me how we are what we do. And using recognized changes that.
Okay. Well, okay, so I retract the statement.
Okay, so you do agree that we are not who we are, what we do.
Right.
Okay, well, good. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to manipulate you, or I didn't want to force you or fear you or frustrate you into changing your statement or agreeing with me. I just wanted to present the information so that you would have a better insight, so that you can make a different, choice. And there's nothing wrong with retracting your statement, as you said, because now that I've presented you with it, I used the word persuaded. There's two words that I've been using in my vocabulary: manipulation and persuading. When you manipulate someone, you do it for your own good, and it has malice involved, and it's not you. It's not necessarily being truthful. But when you persuade someone, you're doing it much better for their good, and you're giving them information to allow them to make a choice instead of you forcing them to make a choice. You're allowing them. So what I've done with the information I've presented was maybe persuaded you, and you just admitted, and that's the point I wanted to make. You have had a change of thought because of the information that was presented. So we don't have to have an hour-long conversation. We've been on now for 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Our first conversation didn't sound like this at all. At all. As a matter of fact, I thought I was going to have to come over there and whoop all of y'all.
Man, you funny.
No, but you laughing. I'm funny, but you laughing. Explain that. I said, I'm funny, but you're laughing. Now explain that.
Well, I'm laughing because you are funny.
I know. So then why can't you be funny?
Oh, well, we can both be funny.
Okay, well, you didn't say we both funny. You called me funny.
I got you because you made the statement.
I know, but why didn't you just say we both funny? Why did you have to single me out? Why did I have to be on the spotlight?
Because my statement was with regards to you.
Okay, but I'm asking you.
I'm
now,
funny at times too.
Well, then say that too then. Include you in and speak for you, and don't be putting me all up in your stuff. You know I'm just messing with you, man. Hey, look, man, I love you, man. I mean, you my brother. Listen, you are my first adult teacher of of what we both do, and I still go back to some of the things I've heard you say. You are one of my big brothers in the music industry, and I have nothing but love and respect for you. We've had a few little powwows back and forth, but I tell you, I've never changed. I would give you the shirt off my back right now if you needed it, and that is coming from my heart. But I appreciate you participating in this, because I recently discovered something about myself that I am delving into. The reason I like having these conversations and calling people is because I have 100% concluded that the primary reason the world is in disarray, families and nations and states are in disarray, is because we don't take the time to listen to each other. We allow our feelings, our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions to interfere with raw, pure truth, and what do you call it? Universal principles. Our emotions overpower those. And it's okay to have emotions and feelings, because it's how where we get instinct from. It's how we know how to protect ourselves, and it's a natural reaction. But we have a mind and a consciousness for a reason. And we're not supposed to allow those emotions to overpower our consciousness. And because we have strong feelings about something, we respond to how we feel as opposed to how what we hear. And I am convinced that if we're patient enough with each other and we take the time to listen to each other and or listen to or investigate what's actually at hand in life, and then we start practicing removing our feelings from it and we look at what's happening, we can find a more peaceful place to live. But again, our emotions and our feelings are so strong, our beliefs are so strong that we don't care about the truth. The truth supposedly will set you free. I just so happen to believe that because it's been proven to me. And I guess moving forward in my life, I am practicing removing my thoughts, feelings, my beliefs, and my emotions from equations to the best of my ability. You can't always do it, because if somebody comes around messing with your family, that's a different story. You are emotionally attached and your emotions do take over. But when we can examine what is actually being said, presented, or what we're dealing with in terms of a problem or chaos, and we can address it minus how we feel personally, I think we'll save ourselves from a lot of chaos and a lot of disagreement and a whole lot of fighting. So that's what I discovered about myself as a result of some trying times that I went through over the past couple of years. And I literally have been in what I call self-therapy. I've been listening to hundreds of YouTube videos and just gaining information because I can't afford to sit on a couch with a shrink at $350 or $400 an hour. So I've had to really go in and do the work myself. And it has literally been equivalent to doing open heart surgery while I'm awake with no anesthesia. That's how difficult this has been. I've opened my own chest cavity up while I was awake, and that's just where I am. So what you did was you helped me out by participating in this, and we could have 1,000 more conversations just like this. And if we listen to each other, I may have been able to, because I wanted you to prove to me, the opposite. And maybe you can still prove something to me if I listen some more. But we had an issue at hand that we got to the bottom of because we listened to each other and we came up with something that I think is universal and a point of reference that neither one of us can argue, regardless of how we feel about it.
Right.
So you're not just saying that to get rid of me.
No.
Okay. All right, man. Well, with that being said, I'm going to conclude your and my portion. And again, thank you, my brother.
You're more than welcome, Travis.
Thank you, man. I don't care what it is. If you need me, call me. If I got it, you got it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Travis.
All right. We'll talk soon. Love you, bro.
All right, bro.
Tenfold.
Bye-bye.